What is up there, everybody? Sea of Red Sports here for yet another video, and today we are predicting the Nebraska-Purdue game. This is going to be an 11 a.m. kickoff, and it'll be hosted at Purdue University in West Lafayette, Indiana. Fun fact, Purdue actually has their own airport. They're the only private college in the entire country to have their own airport, so that's a fun fact for you. But anyway, Nebraska and Purdue will be playing, and this will be a very interesting match because both teams have been winless the last 2 weeks. Purdue, they lost to Minnesota and then Rutgers, and Nebraska lost to Illinois and then Iowa. The Illinois loss was just weird. It was the worst game we've played all year. It just almost seems like one of those weird games with just it's a head scratch. You have no idea what happened. Of course, Iowa's better than us, but we played actually a pretty good game. So, obviously the question this week will be, which Nebraska team will show up to the Purdue game? Will it be the one that played Iowa, played them down to the wire, and beat Penn State? Or will it be the one that got blown out by Illinois? To be honest, I have no idea. so I'm just going to make a prediction. But we can take a look at some information, kind of come with a somewhat guesstimated, possibly rational guess. So, we're going to talk about Purdue here, because the biggest takeaway is that they're really good on offense and horrible on defense. They are currently 125th out of 125 teams on special teams in the entire FBS. There are only 125 teams playing this season, and Purdue is the worst on special teams. So that gives Nebraska an actual chance to maybe get a kick return Cam Taylor-Britt. He was just a shoelace tackle away from actually getting a kick six in the Penn State game. So he could have a nice return. So this could be a good game, although he did muff the punt last game, so that could always happen too. But anyway, defensively, they are terrible, and they're particularly bad at stopping the run, which is something that Nebraska is very good at. We've got two good running quarterbacks in Luke McCaffrey and Adrian Martinez. Both have played quite well this season. Overall, as far as running, now passing efficiency, they've also been pretty good, but none of them have taken shots downfield. Now, I imagine a lot of that has to do with play calling, but it is what it is. Maybe it's in order to keep Adrian from throwing so many picks. Maybe that's the strategy. Just throw underneath stuff, don't throw down the field so Adrian doesn't turn the ball over. I can understand the strategy, but I would like to see some more deep shots be taken against this really bad Purdue defense. On offense, though, Purdue is really, really good, and it's what's kept them in a lot of games both this year and last year. So, for the wide receiver core, they have both Rondale Moore and David Bell. They are both excellent. Rondale Moore may be the best receiver in the entire Big Ten. And keep in mind, this is a conference that has Ohio State, so that's a pretty big deal. David Bell has been really lighting up this year. He has been really blasting onto the scene. And they also have a huge dude who basically runs the fullback position. His name is Harbaugh or something like that. His name's kind of hard to pronounce, but he is a really dangerous player. But Nebraska has shown so far this season they've been able to soar up the run defense. So if we can stop him, we basically then have to just watch out for the receivers, which, by the way, they'll be facing off Dismuke and I forget the other corner. I'm sorry, I forget your name, but they're both really good. Ty Robinson's been good up front. DiCaprio Boodle has been really good. He got his first pick in the last game, so congratulations to DCap on his first career INT. It was a terrible throw by Spencer Petras. Spencer Petras, no, the Iowa quarterback. That's almost the same name. But wait, John Wright Plumlee is most likely to start in this game. The reason why I think he'll start over O'Connell is Plumlee has been able to run the ball himself as a dual threat quarterback, which of course has been essentially the bane of Nebraska's defense existence during the Scott Frost era. We just can't stop running quarterbacks. Plus, he has smoked us the last two times we played him, and Purdue won the game. So I suspect Plumlee will start. He's also played fairly decent this year. He's been able to get the ball to his very talented receivers. So what about Nebraska? How are we going to do defensively and offensively? When I talk about defense, when I talk about Purdue's offense, Purdue's defense is just terrible, and their best player is going to be out for the first half of this game because of a targeting call. So Nebraska's going to be in a good place. There's going to be no playmakers on the defense. And we're going to have Luke McCaffrey and Adrian Martinez. I would like to see Luke do some interesting stuff, like be a runner, like do the be a Russell, or maybe play tight end. He can actually do that. He can do some interesting stuff. So do some confusing things. Maybe like snap the ball to Wan'Dale Robinson and pass to Luke McCaffrey or something like that. We've seen that a couple of times during the Scott Frost era, and those little wrinkles have seemed to really get the defense kind of confused. Got to make the defense honest. It's a bad Purdue defense. You gotta really get to them, and they are also having difficulty getting to the corners. So we could do some edge rushing. We could do some jet sweeps with Xavier Betts. He's been very good. Our longest touchdown of the season, the 45-yarder, was a jet sweep with Xavier Betts. He's been proven out to be amazing. He's a guy from West Bellevue High School, right in Nebraska, so he's a hometown talent, and he's going to be really good. Adrian's most likely to start. It seems kind of ironic that Adrian plays the best when his seat is really hot, when he might lose the job to Adrian, but then when he's the sore starter, he suddenly is terrible. So yeah, let's keep this quarterback competition going for a while. But Adrian is most likely to start. He did actually play pretty decent. He was 18 out of 20 in the Iowa game, had only 2 incompletions. That's actually really good. And rushing the ball, he was actually pretty good. I think Luke is better at rushing the ball, which is why I think he would actually make a decent running back. And we do need more running backs because Dedrick Mills is out with an injury. He might be back this game. I wouldn't count on it. Most likely we'll see him in the Minnesota game. But Wan'Dale Robinson, he finally got enough touches in the Iowa game. Just all his game plan in general just looked a lot more prepared. We looked way more prepared than we did in the Illinois game. Hopefully we come out like that against Purdue, and if we come out prepared, we'll actually have a chance. Now, we won't be as maybe electric or as explosive as the Purdue offense, but then against the Purdue offense, we'll be facing our better defense, so we'll see. Nebraska, though, has a chance to win this game. So with that being said, I'm going to give a couple predictions. And I can really think of 2 predictions. One, if this game goes into overtime, which is possible. I was talking with Josh Pate earlier, sending him some emails and such, and he said that their numbers at 24/7 Sports, I think this game's going to be even. It's actually 28 apiece, which would send the game to overtime. So if the game goes into overtime, that really favors Purdue because they can really score quickly. They can get the job done they needed to. So I think if the game goes into overtime, they win. It probably goes into, I'd say, double overtime. And then Purdue wins 42-35. I would predict that to be a score. If it doesn't go into overtime, I think we will see Nebraska be able to get the win. I would say maybe 38-35. We do actually have a decent kicker, and he's the transfer from LSU. Obviously, he was on the national championship team. He was pretty good, and he's been pretty good for us so far. He's had some decent-ish punts. He's kind of iffy on the punt side. Sometimes he kicks some good ones, sometimes he kicks some bad ones. But he's been very good at kicking field goals for us. He's been able to do around 35 to 40 yards, so that's pretty good. Past 40, I don't know. He really hasn't had to kick really any from past 40, so it's been questionable how good he is there. But I have confidence in him. He seems to be good. So we have the special teams edge. Yes, I know. Nebraska has special teams edge. That never happens. And Purdue has obvious offensive playmaking ability. But I think Nebraska's best attack will be to run down the clock, run a lot of plays, and to score that way. And then to give our defense chances to be rested and to make plays. Because our defense has been able to show that we can get picks. So I think we'll actually win the turnover margin for the first time since the Penn State game. And I think we'll win the turnover battle 2-1. I think Adrian's going to throw a pick. I just think that's the way it's going to be. It's going to be a pick or a fumble or something stupid. Maybe another one of those really dumb bots snaps. We had 4 bots snaps in the Iowa game, which were tragic. Luke did a better job of handling the snaps, but they were still bad. Luke Reimer, you need to actually get good. Stop them. Anyway, I think that we will actually win the turnover battle because Plumlee will throw a couple of balls up in the air, and then our defensive player will make the grab and get the pick. So I think we'll actually get 2 picks. I don't know how many of those will end up being for scores. I would love a pick 6. We had our first pick 6 in a while in the Penn State game. That was a lot of fun to watch. But Yeah, I think Nebraska will actually win the turnover margin and thus win the game, 38-35. If it doesn't go in overtime, if it goes in overtime, that really favors Purdue. So, if it goes in overtime, Purdue wins 42-35. Those are my predictions for the games. What is yours? Put them in the comments below. Hope you guys enjoy the video. Have a great rest of your day. God bless and go Big Red.